Let's be real. Claude tokens are freakingly expensive, and most people are burning them without even realizing it. Have you ever opened Claude, sent like 3 messages, and suddenly got hit with this? You've reached your usage limit. And then Claude tells you to come back in 4 hours. Here's the crazy part. It's not a bug. And Anthropic doesn't hate you. The real problem is that most people have absolutely terrible context hygiene without even realizing it. Every time you send a message, Claude isn't just reading your new prompt. It's rereading the entire conversation again and again and again. And if you manage your sessions badly, the token cost goes insanely fast. Imagine you're casually using Claude, native coding, writing content, uploading files like normal, and then one day your monthly AI bill jumps from $345 to over $42,000. Yeah, 42,000, simply because the AI kept dragging around massive amounts of unnecessary context. And that's a true story happened. Most Claude users are accidentally doing the same thing every single day. So in this video, I'll show you the hidden mechanics of Claude's context window and 7 habits to make your subscription last 3 times longer. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and master more agentic workflows, don't forget to visit aifired.co for the latest AI tools and deep dive tutorials. So here's what's actually happening behind the scenes. First, you need to understand the snowball effect. Claude doesn't remember like we do. Every time you hit send, it rereads everything from scratch. Every message, every file, every line of code. By message 30, a tiny question costs as much as asking Claude to reread an entire novel. The longer the chat, the more expensive every word becomes. That's the snowball effect. Your limit isn't just disappearing, it's accelerating. But it gets even crazier with something called hidden token tax. A blank session can burn up to 60,000 tokens before you even type a word. Why? Because Claude is busy indexing files and loading system prompts behind the scenes. If you open heavy sessions without a plan, you're literally wasting your subscription budget before the work even starts. So if you keep opening heavy sessions or uploading giant files without strategy, you're already wasting tokens before the actual work even starts. The 1 million token illusion. Most people hear 1 million tokens and think, awesome, the more context I give it, the smarter it gets. But honestly, the exact opposite happens. When you overload that context window, Claude's brain starts to turn into mush. Researchers and devs have actually tracked this, and the numbers are brutal. Accuracy can tank from 92% all the way down to 78%, just because a session gets too long. People call this context rot. It's basically the AI version of burnout. The session gets so bloated that Claude just gets lazy. So once you realize what's actually happening under the hood, you'll understand. The goal isn't to see how much you can cram into that window. The goal is to manage it like a pro. So now that you understand why Claude burns through your usage limits so fast, let's fix it. Habit number 1 is probably the easiest change you can make immediately. Whenever Claude gives a bad answer, most users instinctively reply with something like, "No, that's wrong. Try again." But here's the problem nobody talks about. Claude doesn't delete the bad answer. It keeps everything inside the context window. The wrong output stays there. Your correction stays there. So after just a few retries, Claude is now forced to reread the original mistake, your feedback, the second attempt, and all the extra conversation around it, making the chat slow and messy. So here's the game changer. Stop replying to your own mistakes and use the edit button. Hover over your original prompt, click edit, refine the instruction properly, and then hit save and submit. This completely overwrites the conversation path. Now, when Claude replies, it's only looking at the clean, updated version of your request, not dragging along the weight of every failed attempt. You end up with better answers, 0 lag, and you're saving a massive amount of tokens on the exact same task. It's the ultimate shortcut. Habit number 2 is arguably the most important part of this entire video, the 20 message reset. This is how you beat context rot, or what I like to call AI dementia. At the beginning of a fresh session, Claude feels insanely smart, but the longer the chat gets, the weirder it starts acting. It forgets instructions, contradicts itself, hallucinates functions, and this isn't just your imagination. But here's the statistic that'll really blow your mind. Once a chat hits around 100 messages, roughly 98.5% of the tokens you're paying for are just Claude rereading your old history. Only about 1.5% actually goes toward generating your new answer. Think about that. You're basically paying for a memory replay instead of actual intelligence. So here is the pro-level workflow. Every 15 to 20 messages, just stop. Tell Claude. Summarize our progress, the current project state, and all key decisions we've made so far. Copy that summary, start a brand new chat, and paste it as your first message. That's it. We call this summarize and migrate. Once you start doing this, you'll notice Claude becomes faster, smarter, and way more reliable. Habit number 3. Markdown is king. Most people upload PDFs, websites, or raw HTML files directly into Claude without realizing how bloated those formats actually are. A normal 10-page PDF might cost around 5,000 tokens, even though the actual readable text inside is maybe only 1,000. Because Claude also has to process layout data, metadata, styling, hidden formatting, CSS, and a bunch of garbage humans never even see. So instead of feeding Claude heavy files directly, convert them into Markdown first. Let me show you. You can use any free PDF to Markdown tool online. Right here, I'm opening pdf.ai, dropping my PDF file in, and turning it into a clean Markdown file. That's it. Now, instead of giving Claude a bloated PDF, I can upload a lightweight.md file instead. Claude loves Markdown. It's the language it's trained on, and the token savings are honestly insane. HTML to Markdown can reduce token usage by over 90%, and PDF to Markdown usually saves around 60 to 70%. We're going to habit number 4. Batch your questions. This sounds simple, but it's a total token saver. Stop micro-prompting. Most people ask one tiny task at a time. Summarize this, and wait. Now list key points. Wait. Every time you hit send, Claude reloads your entire project context. 3 messages mean 3 rounds of heavy token tasks. Instead, combine them. Based on this document, please summarize it in 3 sentences, list the key points, and suggest 5 catchy titles. Now, Claude only needs to load the context once, not 3 times. And this is especially important in Claude Code, where the startup overhead can be thousands or even tens of thousands of tokens. So instead of paying that hidden tax again and again, batch your requests together. And here's the bonus point. The answer is usually better too, because Claude sees the full scope of what you need from the beginning, instead of guessing task by task. Habit number 5 is the ultimate move for power users. Use projects for caching. Honestly, this is the most underrated feature in Claude. I see people uploading the exact same files into new chats over and over again. But here's the problem. Every single time you hit upload in a new chat, Claude has to reprocess and retokenize that entire file from scratch. If you do that 10 times, you've basically paid for the same context 10 times. It's a total waste. The fix? Create dedicated Claude projects for your specific workflows. Think one project for YouTube scripts, one for social media strategy, or even a specific one for a single client. One pro tip I swear by. Do a massive brain dump of all your ideas, workflows, and tone of voice preferences into a doc. Save it as a PDF and upload it there. Now Claude already gets you before your first prompt. Within a project, Claude references an existing memory instead of rereading from zero. This slashes token usage and makes Claude feel way more consistent than any standalone chat ever could. Habit number 6. Picking the right model for the job. Honestly, this is one of the top reasons people hit that usage limit wall way too fast. Using a beast like Opus to write a simple email is like driving a gas-guzzling SUV to buy a loaf of bread at the corner store. It works, but you're burning fuel for no reason. Here is the easiest way to break down the Claude lineup. Haiku is the scooter, fast and cheap. Use it for formatting, quick translations, or simple captions. Sonnet is your daily driver. This should do 80% of your work. It's the sweet spot between speed and brainpower. Opus is the heavy-duty SUV. You save it for the genius-level stuff, intense coding or complex strategy. So the rule is simple. Match the model to the task. Habit number 7 is the 6 a.m. hack, And honestly, it feels like a cheat code once you understand how Claude's brain actually works. Most people assume their limit resets at midnight or some fixed time. It doesn't. Claude uses a rolling 5-hour window that starts from the very first message you send. Think about it. If your first heavy session starts at 10 a.m., your reset won't kick in until 3 p.m., right when you're in the middle of your deepest work. That's a productivity killer. So here's the pro move. Send one tiny message, just a hello or a dot, the second you wake up, say around 6 a.m. That tiny ping triggers your 5-hour cycle early. This way, if you burn through your limit during a morning sprint, your reset happens way sooner, instead of wrecking your entire afternoon. But there's another layer to this, the peak hour tax. Most people think Claude's limit resets at midnight. It doesn't. It's a rolling 5-hour window that starts from your very first message. Ever since early 2026, Anthropic started managing limits way more aggressively during global peak hours. If the servers are slammed, your usage credits can disappear noticeably faster. It's basically a congestion tax for your tokens. The strategy is simple. Do your heavy lifting, the massive file uploads, the long coding sessions, the deep research during off-peak hours. Save the lightweight chatting for when the world is busy. Because at this point, winning at Claude isn't just about what you prompt, it's about when you prompt. To wrap all of this up, the biggest mindset shift for me wasn't actually a technical trick. It was realizing that Claude's 1 million token window is insurance, not a goal to fill up. When you push that context window to the limit, the AI mentally crashes. Most people burn their limits because they treat a single chat like a dumping ground for their entire business history. Don't fall for that trap. That's why I personally follow the 12% rule. Try to keep your sessions under 120,000 tokens. In that first 10 to 20%, Claude is at its absolute peak, sharp, fast, and flawless. Once you cross that line, context rot sets in. You pay more for lower quality answers. Pro users don't wait for the AI to start acting weird or hit a usage wall. They reset early. They summarize, they migrate, and they keep their workspace clean. The secret isn't bigger context, it's cleaner context. If you're stuffing writing, coding, and research all into one giant chat, that's why you're hitting limits. Break them up. The second Claude starts getting lazy or contradicting itself, that's context cancer. Don't fight it. Just summarize, reset, and start fresh. Mastering these 7 habits isn't just about saving tokens. It's about finally learning how to actually command an AI. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment which was your favorite. Anyway, I'm Selena. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you in the next one.